All right, click the links for Odysee BitChute support channel or join the Discord. It's a good way to stay in touch as I get yeeted from place to place. Okay, so between HuffPost and Breitbart, there's two versions of the story, and they're both. It's very. You're gonna have a hard time finding media that actually reports the media in as fair and an impartial position as possible, interpretation as possible. It's very hard to do that. The best way is to, if you had an impartial media, you would have the reporter up front admit their bias up front. You would say, okay, well, this girl, she's a Mexican Jewish girl. She's got a history of far left reporting. If she was honest, she would admit that up front. And the other guys, the bright guys, whoever is writing this, it's like, okay, well, you've got a right of center, Gateway Pundit, you've got a right of center interpretation. Get in focus. Right of center interpretation. You've been voting on the right for a far time. That would be the truth in reporting. But you're not going to get that these days. Everything is very, very partisan. The left controls the media, so they call everyone. They just call their side of the media, which is far left, the media, and they call the right side of the media the far right. It's like you're both. I mean, obviously, you control the media. It's like you're a far left interpretation of the media. Anyway, so this is the basic of the story, and Breitbart or Gateway leaves out some things, and so does HuffPost. The story can be summed up in: he's outside. He never trespassed in the building. He's at a peaceful assembly. I don't know why he dressed up like a clown, though it's his legal right to do so. But they're at a constitutionally protected activity, a peaceful assembly. HuffPost says he did not comply when the officers ordered him back, but then he left. So he did comply, but it makes it sound like he might have hesitated. There are cameras everywhere, so everyone's got this on film. But he never entered the building, so he's in jail right now, and he's going to be in jail for a while because that's not the story. The peaceful assembly is not the story. The story is the FBI wanted him to be an informant, and he refused. And so HuffPo leaves that part of the story out, and Gateway Pundit leaves a bunch of stuff out. Either it's like these are both. They're both. You're going to get the truth by reading both, and it's like it's a shame you don't have a reporter who will just fucking be honest and say, okay, this is both sides of the story. You just don't get that these days. Anyway, so Antifa and BLM have been rioting for years, and FBI is completely asleep, as are your local police department. But J6 was a bridge too far for them. Yes, this is all actually happening. Your government is persecuting you. Your government has been taken over by globalists for decades, but now they are taking off the mask. If you allow globalists into positions of power, they will destroy nations. That's kind of what the word means. America is so damaged now, you would need to deport all of the globalists to have any chance of fixing America. The J6 people, I don't understand the whole MAGA thing. Trump is owned by Israel like most politicians are. Why put your faith in him? Trump was never going to risk his family fortune in trying to save America. He's not a nationalist. If he was, he never would have gotten into office. America is not America. It's a commercial zone controlled by Israel and China and whatever other NGOs. It's like things are moving away from countries to being kind of like corporate entities, I guess. The response by the FBI to J6 has been insane. I think most reasonable people would say that, this is a little bit of an overreaction. Keep in mind, Trump could have pardoned all those people. He didn't. He pardoned drug dealers. This is the totalitarian government that the Founding Fathers warned us about. In this case, he didn't enter the building, which the Capitol Police opened the doors to. The charges say the police set up a 100-foot perimeter, and since he was inside that, as that one photograph shows, they say he was trespassing. Okay, if so, fair enough. Give him a small fine, and that is that. They didn't. The FBI arrested him. He is going to be behind bars for a while for what he did, standing outside of the Capitol building, all because he didn't act as an informant for the FBI. J6 was just a mostly peaceful protest that was caused by the FBI. I don't understand why anyone would enter a building. If I saw the police open the doors, it's clearly a setup. And if you go to these things, I can't imagine why it's a different. Anyway, I don't understand the MAGA normie in general. Have a peaceful assembly. Get a permit so the city can provide bathrooms and whatever else they need. J6 and the fallout taught a lot of people that Trump doesn't care about them and the feds are completely controlled by parasites. Even the local police are sociopaths who will blindly follow orders and violate the Constitution. They are just in it for a paycheck. We have seen that over the past 2 years. You can burn those thin blue line flags.